It does. You look like a fucking beast, dude. White always makes us look big, you know? Oh, shit, we're up and running, baby. We're live. Let's rock.
All right, everybody. Hi, I'm Nick Best, and this is Jon Andersen. We're Elite Ageless Mindset.
And we are here every week consistently to show you guys how to be consistent, because we've been consistently doing this shit for 40 plus years a piece. So that being said, every week you get a brand new training, brand new diets, and it's a macro-based formula that changes every week to keep gains coming constantly. And we're all about getting big and strong and not fat. So if for some reason that's not what you want, this is probably not for you, but I think that's pretty much everybody wants. What do you think, brother?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think they want all the things that look, we're going to tell you the things that you don't want to hear, because that's how you became successful. And I mean, today we're going to talk about the power of the now. It's like, don't do it later, do it now.
And on that level, the things you don't want to hear, yes, you don't want to hear them, but we keep it simple and they work.
Yep.
So don't think that we're going to be asking you to do something that's not possible. We're going to ask you to do very simple, straightforward things that work extraordinarily well. Is the power now, man. Goodness gracious. I don't know that there's something that is more powerful. What do you think, brother?
Not much. Not very much. I mean, think about it. You got the money in your bank account, your bills are sitting there, and they're not due for another 2 weeks. And you put it off when you could just pay for it right now. All that pressure is now gone. It's clear. It's clean slate. And it's like that with training. It's like that with anything that you do. You need to train. You're supposed to train that day. You got some free time, but you kind of want to do this. No, go do it right now. Then when it's done, it's over with, burden removed. Go ahead, Jon.
And you think about it like this, what Nick's saying is so perfect, because you're either going to kind of live your life or you're constantly staying ahead because you're doing it now, or you're going to live your life where you're constantly running behind because you're doing it later. You see, here's the problem. Doing it's a habit. If you're doing it now, you're constantly staying ahead. Something gets in front of you, boom, it's done. If you're the flip side and you do it, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, what's going to happen is this. You're going to get to a certain age in your life. You're going to go, what the fuck happened to all the cool shit that I want to do in my life? Yeah. And then you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to go, oh, shit, I forgot. I got really good at doing it tomorrow. Well, that never ends. You see, if you do it tomorrow, it's a never ending prophecy. You find yourself just not doing things and doing it now. If you do it now, it ends that whole thing and you live your life from a different perspective. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's kind of like how there's like a advertising that bars used to put up on the side of their building. It says free beer tomorrow. Well, then you come back the next day, it's free beer tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. So get on it, because tomorrow literally never comes. The next day, it's always tomorrow. The next day, it's always tomorrow. Well, there is no tomorrow. Just get it done today. You know, and the thing is all the benefits that are going to come from that. It's like, as that pressure of getting things done is removed, it just lightens up your mental load. It gives you a sense of zen when you can come in, get things done, and just knock it out and have it all done. And I mean, I'm as guilty as anyone else at some of these things, but you know what? I continually practice getting it done now.
100%. And here's the thing too, to kind of back up what Nick is saying, is that, you know, when we're thinking about the reasons why we should do it now, our brain will give us enough reasons to do it now, and we'll do it now. But if we're thinking about doing it tomorrow, our brain will give us enough reasons that we'll end up doing it tomorrow, because what we think of, we get more of what we think about than we realize. So, you know, when you think of how do I make this step, start thinking about doing it now. Start thinking about how good it'll feel when you do it now. I mean, how many times do we know someone, this is not you or I, Nick, because we subscribe to Now, that said, oh, I'll go to the gym later today, and it never ends up happening. So when you think you're going to do something later, usually that later turns into tomorrow. And now once you're into tomorrow, now you're in that cycle of getting very little done.
Which is the late fee.
Yes, exactly. So if you're sitting there going, okay, this sounds great, but where do I start? Start about what you're thinking about. When you have that moment, oh shit, I'm going to do it later. Oh, wait a minute. Start thinking about doing it now. Start thinking about the benefits of doing it now, and it will intrigue you to want to do it now. Does that make sense? Very,
Totally.
very simple, straightforward. You know?
Yeah.
Did that come
No,
out properly? Did that make sense, brother?
it made sense. And he's
Perfect.
right. John's right. I mean, look, having things pile up and pile up and pile up, just start knocking them out one at a time and
Yes.
prioritize. You still got to prioritize, but training
That's a
your
good
body.
point, bro. That's a really good point because, a lot of times we can do it now on the shit that doesn't really need to be done now, but we're staying productive. What do they call it? Productive
Yeah.
procrastination. So yeah, brother, you go further on that. You just hit a
Good.
really.
Yeah. So it's productive procrastination. It's like you'll find yourself doing every little thing that needed to get done, except for the big one that you wanted. That's
Yeah,
the one you do now.
yeah,
Then the
yeah.
other little things that can be done later in the day that don't require as much energy, that can be easily knocked out. Do those later when you have less energy and still knock them out. But yeah, you got to
Dude, I
prioritize.
mean, I got to interrupt real quick. Last week, excuse me. Yeah, no, it's like literally when you think about, you know, when you think about doing something that's, oh, I'm going to be productive, I'm going to do this. A lot of times you got to look at this and you got to
Mhm.
decide, is this what needs to be done now?
Now.
And then
Mhm.
on that level, you got to look at the time sensitivity of it. It needs to be done now because this is when I have the time to do it. This is when it fits in my schedule, or this is the most important thing that needs to be done today or in this moment. So,
Right.
but just so we all know, it's a moving target. You have to constantly practice this theory, philosophy, whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, these are things we'll catch ourselves doing too. I mean, we're not perfect. We will catch ourselves doing these things. I catch myself doing it. And I'm like, wait a minute, why did I just knock out these two things when I got six things to do and this one's super important? I need to write
yeah,
this email because I hate writing emails. I literally despise them. But I've got to do it. I'm like, why am I knocking out all these little things over here when I'm just trying? I'm going to do it, but no, just knock it out, get it done, relax afterwards, and knock the rest of the stuff out. So it's
yeah,
it's it's all things that you don't put it off. And in a way, that's giving yourself something challenging that you dislike to do. So you're getting comfortable being uncomfortable, which is also something we talk about a lot here.
hmm
And you get your uncomfortable thing done and out of the way. You get all that stuff done, and there's no late fee that comes. There's no penalty that comes
yeah.
from not getting it done when you should have got it done.
Well, and also once you start describing to this side, as
Mm-hmm.
you're doing things as they come, a
Yep.
lot of times in many cases you don't have things that stack up anymore. And so there's
Right.
not this list of things that need to be done because you've been putting them off. It's like the things that are coming. Okay, I'll knock these out today. And you, like Nick's saying, you're staying on top of. There's no late fee because you're able to stay on top of what needs to be done as it comes in. Now, there's always the time when something comes in, you're not going to be able to get it done. So you find the time, you put it in your schedule, and when the time comes, you do it.
You
So,
execute. Yeah.
but yeah, but I think, if you boil it all away, most of the stuff we talk about for consistency really connects itself to a habit. It's you have a habit. A lot of times people think a habit of brushing their teeth, habit of doing whatever, but this is more of a mental habit
Mm-hmm.
because you never really know what's going to come at you in life. You just have to have the mental habit of doing it when it shows up. Because we talk about getting uncomfortable. We're talking about showing
Mm-hmm.
up. We're talking about getting the job done now and not putting things off. And you stack up these little tiny things, and it just makes you a different human being.
Yeah. And you'll learn to apply that to everything in your life, not just
Yes.
training, not just the physical stuff. And you end up being a more successful person in the end, which allows you to
hmm
reach financial goals and relationship goals and stuff like that. And I mean, these are things we still are still working on and still learning and practicing, because you can always still get better at them. No matter what you do, you can
Yep.
always get better at something.
You know, and the idea that maybe you got a training session that you're like procrastinating on, and you know, that procrastination, it just, what it really does, it kind of chips away at our self-confidence, our self-esteem, because deep down we know that we should just take the first step and go get it done. So, you know, just remember, you know, and keep in mind, we all suffer from it. You know, how many times is it, but the key is to have the self-awareness to realize, oh, you're doing it. Let's go. You know, pull up your pants. That's what I tell myself. Pull up your panties. This is going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm going to feel real good when it's over.
And that's a big thing, is learning how to identify when you're doing it. And that'll come with experience. I mean, so it's one of those things where you start going, you're doing these things, and you just stop and look at yourself and wait a minute. Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm reacting in a way that I should not be reacting to this. Okay, back it down, adjust, and move forwards. So learn how to catch yourself doing it too, because you will. Once you do that, you'll identify it a lot better and keep it from happening as well.
Well, you know, one of the things that I noticed, brother, and I'm sure you have some version of this as well, is that when I'm really on my shit, right? Because, like, perfect example, holidays comes, it's the schedule gets screwy. It's real easy to fall into this whole procrastination. I'll do it later, because there's so much new stuff coming in for a short period of time. But what I know about myself is, if I'm handling my business and I'm doing it now, I'm a happier person. And a lot of times, if I start to feel like I'm just, you know, I'm losing the spring in my step, I'm not quite so excited about today, not quite so excited about life, I look closer, I realize, because you're putting shit off, dipshit. You know, if you need to get up a little earlier or do whatever you got to do to handle your business, you're going to snap right back into that dude that you like being. Unless, what do we want? I mean, strip it all away. We want to be happy. We want to be successful, you know, and the idea of doing it now is going to lead you to all of the above.
Yep. I agree 100%.
Well, brother, words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. We're going to stick with the show theme today. Do it now. Do it now.
And yes.
Do it now, sir. And understand, you know, where your prioritization of your time needs to be that day. You know, get the things that make you uncomfortable done first.
You know,
and
then and on that level, if you're sitting there thinking, God, it sounds so simple, but I need that thing that makes me want to do this more. One of the methods that I do is, I just, when I'm finding myself, you know, as soon as I think about doing something more than about 2 or 3 seconds, I quickly realize I'm procrastinating, and I give myself, okay, think about how good you're going to feel when you do this. Think about how shitty you're going to feel when you don't. And that right there makes it a very easy decision for me. So that might, if it works for me, that might work for you guys too. So,
because the feeling of success is always better than the feeling of failure.
That's it.
So of not having success. So and then that's the thing. And the funny part about this is it reaffirms itself.
Yes. Yeah.
So you just get in that habit, get going with it, and then just keep doing those things.
That's it.
Yeah, I feel so much better when I stay ahead of things and get moving on things. And, you know, you continue to grow and you continue to learn even at this age. And it's one of the things that I can improve on. So I'm working on improving on it. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there you have it, everyone. We are here another week to show you guys that we know how to show up, that we know how to be consistent, but more importantly, we're like your accountability partners. You know, every Sunday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, we are here to show you guys basically how to be consistent, rain or shine, up or down, left or right, doesn't matter. So that being said, everyone, keep kicking ass out there, and we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place.
Go do it now.
That's right. The power of now.
The power of